Welcome. We're going to talk a bit about clay-baked bricks. We're sitting here on the banks of the Alloway Lake. This area has a great lineage of clay and brick making going back to the early 18th century. We have Caspar Wister, who was the first to start a glass blowing flat pane glass plus scientific glass here, enterprise, and he used a lot of the clay, the local clay, to brick and make his kilns. So for house restoration, we're going to go over a brick glossary. I get a lot of requests, and we do have to do analysis on what bricks are what and how do we find out which bricks to replace. Matching old brick and mortar with compatible materials begins by identifying what you have. Although many old brick masonry materials are no longer used in new construction, most are still produced for restoration work. I'll be talking about the most common brick types listed at various times in North America, and also include a range of mortar binders, which is cement and similar materials used to bond bricks and common mortar aggregates, sands, used to fuse the binder to give it strength. First, I'm going to talk about the brick types. Number one, adobe, large, rough molded, sun-dried clay bricks of various sizes. Commonly used in the Southwest as an easily accessible on-site building material. The clinker, an overburned brick, often because of its placement in the kiln. The brick has a water repellent quality that sometimes gives it a distorted shape. Clinker brick is often used in paving today. At times, on a regional presence in southern New Jersey, this type of brick is called a vitrified brick. These overburned bricks would change color from typical red clay to a white-gray on the surface, next to the increased heat in the kiln. These would commonly be used in the ends of brick pattern houses for adding dates and initials. It's been my experience to find that during the bicentennial, when many of these brick pattern houses were going under restoration, vitrified brick patterns were sometimes added or taken or moved around. This is outright faking. There are some present-day owners of these houses in Salem County that are in clear denial. They think their pattern brick houses are original or have been excavated under multi-layers of paint, when in reality the restoration of surface treatment could pull off much of the original surface vitrification because they're using excessive sandblasting in some cases, hence putting in question the viability of original brick surfaces. Let's talk about common brick. This is a standard burned clay building brick without special colorings or surface treatments. Common brick is commonly used on inside walls where appearance is not a major concern. Enameled or glazed bricks. These are bricks made with a ceramic glazed finish. Enamel brick is used as facing, providing protection from the elements, and as an attractive surface, especially in kitchens and bathrooms. And you'll actually find some of this on the fence on the outside of where Benjamin Franklin is laid in Philadelphia. Face bricks or stock bricks. High quality brick that is often treated to offer special surface texture and color. Face brick is a general term referring to units intended for visible sections of the wall. Fire brick. That's brick made with clay that will withstand extreme high temperatures. Fire brick is used in fireplaces and also around and inside of boilers and furnaces. Fire brick that has been burned in a fire or in a kiln. Gouged or rubbed brick. Soft brick sawn into special shapes and then rubbed smooth. Used as face brick, generally around windows or other decorative details. Molded brick. Special shaped brick with rounded or angled dimensions. Molded brick is used for decorative work, also known as soft or mud brick. Paving brick. Very strong brick that allows only limited absorption of water and has a very even finish to produce a smooth, flat surface. Intended to provide a hard-wearing surface for driveways, sidewalks, patios, etc. And it's obviously they're water repellent somewhat, so when water goes in, it freezes. The bricks don't crack when the expansion happens. Pressed brick. Mass-produced brick with regular, smooth faces, sharp edges, and square corners. The dry press process involves machines that can only work with a stiff clay compressing it to create very hard and relatively non-porous bricks. Such machines began producing press bricks in the early 1800s, but gained real popularity in the middle of the century. With press brick technology, brick makers could make uniform frogs in the brick beds and could cleanly stamp company names or dates in them. Roman bricks, a decorative brick shape, typically 2 by 4 by 12 inches, reminiscent of the ancient Roman units. A Norman brick, typically 2 2/3 by 4 by 12 inches, and has a similar elongated shape to the Roman brick. Salmon, underburned brick, often because of placement inside a firing kiln, more porous, of lighter color, usually pinkish orange, and hard burn brick. Salmon brick is used where strength, durability, and finish will not be tested by weathering and or moisture. Silica brick, brick made with 96% silica sand, a fine sand that resists acids and creates a slightly glossy surface. Silica brick is extremely durable and is often used as fire brick where heat creates acidic gases. However, silica brick should not be exposed to temperature variation, so a steady temperature is assumed. Also used where weather and moisture are of a great concern. Soft mud brick, a porous soft brick usually made by hand by placing wet clay into a molded to dry before burning. The soft mud process was used before the mechanization of brick making and the earliest mass-produced bricklaying machines. The soft mud method was the primary brick process in making the 17th and 18th century bricks. Sandstruck bricks, soft mud brick with a gritty, textured surface created by sand, sprinkled in the mold to prevent sticking. A water-struck brick, soft mud brick with a textured surface by putting water into the mold to prevent sticking. And this is the example of the water-struck surface brick. A tapestry or rustic brick, brick with a rough, often multicolored face. A tapestry brick is used as a face brick, offering the rustic, antique look. A terracotta brick, burned clay bricks made of very uniform materials and often glazed. Providing a smooth, clear surface, terracotta was used for face work only. A wire-cut or stiff mud brick, machine-made brick cut into uniform using a wire while the clay is in a plastic state. A faster or more efficient way of producing mass brick and the soft mud process. Wire cutting became prominent as the chief method for making bricks in the early 20th century for expeditiously as our country grew as the century progressed. Because no mold had to be used, the process accommodates decorative scoring on the face of the brick before firing. Now let's talk about mortar binders. A mortar binder, number one, hydrated lime. Lime treated with just enough sand and water to begin the chemical reaction. That's a hydrated lime. Depending upon the product, hydrated lime can be used almost immediately because it does not have to be slaked or hydrated before use. Lime. Limestone ground and burned to drive off water and carbonic acid. The result is a graying white caustic substance that when mixed with sand and water undergoes a chemical hardening reaction. It must be slaked with water and allowed to hydrate with water for at least 24 hours before use. Natural cement, mostly outdated at this point. Cement produced by heating limestone in whatever form it came out of the ground and then grinding it. Because of the variety in the rock, primarily in amounts of lime and clay, natural cement varies in hardness and color considerably. Natural elements lost their popularity around 1900. Portland cement, this is today's standard. Portland is a heavy, strong, slow-setting cement, typically manufactured by mixing ground, burned limestone and clay to a ratio of about 8:2. Although invented in England in 1824, it did not gain popular usage in North America until the turn of the century. So we'll talk about the sand, mortar sand. The first one is mason sand, the standard sand in mixing mortar finely screened and washed. Quartz sand, a form of silica sand which is very hard, used in concrete and brick to create strong acid resistance masonry. Sharp sand, coarse sand whose particles are angular in shape, almost cutting, provides strong adhesion in narrow mortar joints. Silica sand, strong sand for mortar, strong and white, extremely fine in acid resistance. Torpedo sand, rough sand with large pebbles, used when patching spaces where mortar might tend to fall out, such as large gaps between bricks, and it resists sagging.